Okay, we're going over number cards today and quantities. So we'll show a couple of variations of using this material. So I have just a deck of cards that are called numbers. I think it was $2 or $1 at Target. You can get them at the dollar store, Target, Walmart, anywhere. But this is a great set. It's the best set if you're doing good, better, best. 0 has nothing, and it has the lowercase word, and then the quantity 1, 2, and so you can do counting with the quantity at the top. And it goes all the way to 32, and it also has some information for parents and sequencing and ideas. But when you turn them over, the cards actually go all the way to 100. So this teaches your child all the way to 100. Or you can teach your child with these cards all the way to 100. For today, I'm going to start just through 5. And you'll get the picture and you can use the rest of the cards. Just teach in groups of, 3 to 4. This is 5, but this would be after they've done the sandpaper numbers so they really know them. We're just moving into the quantity. So the very first step is you can do a presentation with the cards. Do a presentation with the cards. This is 0, 0 if they don't know it. If they know 1 through 5 symbols, then what you can do is you can mix them up. And you can play a game, hand me the 1. 1. Hand me the 0. So you could do the hand me game, or you can mix them all up and say, hey, can you put them in order? And then your child should be able to, if they've been working with these numbers, then they could put them, put them in order. Okay. 4, 5. So then they would be able to order them. That's exciting. Then another thing is to do quantity. So it has the dots at the top. So if they've not been introduced to quantity, you would introduce them to quantity. This is 0, this is 1, and this is how you write 1. This is 1, 2, this is 2, this is how you write 2, and so on. And then if they have already had something similar, a mystery box is cool because you can change what's in it. And not even let them know, let them discover it. But this is counting cubes. They're little plastic cubes. They're all the exact same size, and they're for counting for math. So what you could do is you could have them, if you've done the quantity lesson, then what you could do is say, can you count 0? And they would look at you kind of weird, and then you would be like, right, there isn't any. And then, can you count 1? And they would count 1. Can you count 2? And they would count 1, 2. Can you count 3? 1, 2, 3. And it's good to have them count, out loud so they can hear the number building. Can you count 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you count 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so then that's the lesson with the quantity through 5. And then you would put the material away and they can work through 5. If your child is ready and they know their symbols all the way through 10, because at this point I would still use the sandpaper numbers to introduce 6 through 9. 6 through 9 would be the lesson with the sandpaper numbers, and then come come back to this material and work 6 through 9 with the quantity. If your child has already done the sandpaper through 9, the sandpaper numbers, then you could continue on with the rest of these. Through 9 and have them count them out. And see, even on the cards, it's grouped 5, because when they know 5 is special, and that's why it's good to always kind of end a lesson with 5. If you do 0, 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, and the group with 5, teaching how to count by 5 goes really quickly. So that's a golden nugget. That's a tip for the trade, is to always, either group it 0 through 3, and then add 4 and 5, but always kind of end your lesson with, if you have a 5, end it with a 5. So that is the number cards with counters, some type of counter. There are many different kinds of counters, and I'd like to introduce you to some of those, and you can work with this material and put them in your surprise box. And when you are working with counters, you really, really want to make it fun. So here's a couple of other ideas, and I have a separate video that shows even more, but just dots that are counters. When I was in 3rd grade, I couldn't really get multiplication, and eventually the teacher brought out, counting dots. I'll never forget when she put a group of 3, a group of 3, and a group of 3, and explained to me how that was 9 multiplied. It was 3 times 3 equals 9. And the light bulb in my head came on. It was amazing. So counters are really helpful, and they have longevity. So I have mine in an ugly bag. But just lots of things to do counting. And this is specific material, but you could go to the hobby store and get craft sticks, tongue depressors. You can use anything. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money. So these are perfect for counting. And I'll have a specific video where I can show you lots of ideas for counters that are inexpensive. But this is the number cards with the quantity. And then, if you were continuing on through 9, you would do this, have the child count them out, and then you would have them put them away. Always showing care of the material. Anytime a child is not showing care of the material or focus, it really means they're too young for what you're trying to teach. And you would put it away and try it at a later time, maybe a couple of weeks or a month later, and let them know they cannot work with it if they don't treat it right and if they're not going to sit and listen. They have an inner hunger for learning, and if they will not listen and they will not focus, don't allow them to work with the material. They will have to wait. And when they have to wait and you say no, then they want it. So you're causing them to grow in their desire to learn when they have to wait, and then the next time they will treat it better. I hope that's helpful. Please subscribe, watch other videos, and I'll have another video with lots of different ideas for counters.